Hi students, in this video we are going to see embedded system software and registers from module 1. Okay. First one, embedded system software. You can see this is the block diagram of embedded system software. Here we have hardware devices which we have seen in last video. Then initialization, device drivers, operating systems and applications. Initialization code, it's a code which will be executed initially on the board. This will be specific to a set of target or a particular target. Then device driver, this provides the software interface to the peripherals of the hardware device. Then operating system um, controls the applications and it manages the hardware resources. Then application, it performs one of the particular task which is required for that particular application. Okay. So now we'll see about initialization code. Initialization code is also called as boot code. It it takes the processor from the reset state to the state where the operating system can operate on or run on. Okay. This code handles several administrative tasks. There are majorly three tasks, which are initial hardware configuration, diagnostics and booting. Initial hardware configuration involves setting up the target platform so that it can boot an image. Second one, diagnostics. These will be embedded inside the initialization code only. Uh, this code tests the system by exercising the target board to check whether the board is in working condition or not. Then also it also tracks down the standard system related issues. The primary function of diagnostic code is for fault identification and isolation. Okay. Then third one is booting. Booting involves loading an image and handling control over to that image. Then operating system. Operating system organizes the system resources like peripherals, memory and processing time, everything. There are two types of operating system: real-time operating system and platform operating system. In real-time operating system, the deadline will be followed very strictly. For example, if a task must be completed within 5 seconds, means it should be completed within 5 seconds, no more extension like 6 seconds, 7 seconds, no more extension. Deadline will be followed very strictly. These RTAS provides guaranteed response time to each event. There are two types of RTAS, real-time operating system: soft real-time operating system and hard real-time operating system. So what is this soft real-time and hard real-time application means? I will tell two examples. Missing deadline in video games, missing deadlines in critical medical care system or aircraft system. So these are the two examples. From these you can find which is soft real-time system application and hard real-time application. So in which missing deadline is not causing any of it, the effect is not more, means that is soft real-time system. Where it causes more effect is called hard real-time system. So the best application is video games and aircraft application. Okay, for soft real-time system and hard real-time system. And example for ATAS is RTX or RT64X. These are the examples for real-time operating system. Second type is platform operating system. Platform operating system requires memory management unit to manage large and non-real-time application. Okay, so these are used in non-real-time applications, so in which missing deadline is not at all a matter. Okay, example is Linux operating system, we can say. Then application. Application is a set of code only. For each application we have different set of code. Example, the application code which is used in AC cannot be used in washing machine, because here in both the application the function is entirely different, no? So for each type of application we have different set of application code. We can say many examples ARM processor is used in market segment like networking, mobile phones, um, in storage devices also we can use this ARM processor. So in each application we have a different set of application code. So next we are going to see ARM fundamentals. This is a second chapter from first module. First topic is registers. In ARM processor we have some set of general purpose registers which is used to hold either data or an address. Hmm? Okay, these registers are identified with the letter R. For example, to denote register 4 we can write R4. R4. Okay, there are 18 active registers. Out of these 18 active registers, 16 are called data registers and 2 are called processor status registers. Okay, and of these 16 data registers, no, 16 data registers are from R0 to R15. You can see R0 to R15. In that, R0 to R13, R12, first 13 registers are called general purpose registers. Next 3 registers are called special registers because these are having some special function. Okay. The next 2 registers are program status registers, current program status registers and saved program status register. Okay. See, R13 is called stack pointer register, means this is used to store the starting location of stack segment. So this will be having starting address of stack segment. Next is link register. Link register is used to store the return address when the processor calls subroutine. Okay. Then program counter. Program counter is used to store the address of next instruction to be executed. Okay. So I told no link register. Link register is used to store the return address when the processor calls subroutine. I wrote one example. Here call 7000 means it is calling the subroutine. The subroutine location is 7000. Okay. So when processor finds this instruction, it will jump to the subroutine location which is nothing but 7000. So it will skip 7006 instruction and it will skip to 7000 location and it will execute this instruction. So these are subroutine. Okay, for example I have written these. Okay. So after completing the subroutine, processor again it will come back to the main program and it will start executing or it will continue executing. Okay. So after the subroutine it has to come back to the location 5006. So how the processor identifies this is the return address, how it will identify means when the processor finds call, it knows it has to jump to target location and it has to complete and come back to the next instruction. Okay. So before jumping to the target location, processor will save the address of next instruction. Address of next instruction is 5006 into the link register. So after storing the address of next instruction in the link register, only it will jump to the target location 7000. So after storing it will go continue execute the subroutine instructions. Okay. And in all the subroutine the last instruction will be written. So once the written instruction is over, it has to come back to main program where it left, means 5006. It should go continue from this instruction. Okay. So what this return will do is, during the execution of written instruction, PC will get the address from the link register. PC will get the address from the link register. Okay. So PC address will be 5006. So we all know program counter will store the address of next instruction to be executed. So ARM processor will check program counter, it will find 5006. So it will go to that location, it will execute this instruction and it will continue with the next instructions. Okay. So this is how link register will store the address of return address when the processor calls subroutine. Okay. So once again, stack pointer will store the starting address of stack segment, link register will store the return address, program counter will store the address of next instruction to be executed.